This episode is sort of a complete accident. Well, not an accident, let's call it a switcheroo. So last week I made some baguette. This one was in my freezer. I used Dan Leader's 4-hour baguette recipe and it makes 3 loaves. Fantastic baguette. So I put one in the freezer. Oh, I just realized I cut it before I put it into 3 sections. That'll actually come in handy tonight. Because what I was going to do was, I knew it was in the freezer, so I thought, oh, I'll do bruschetta because I'm overflowing with ripe tomatoes, like 6 different heirloom varieties, basil plants, 3 feet tall, all over the place. So I thought I'll do a nice little bruschetta. I've said it before, bruschetta, please, not bruschetta. The way you remember that in Italian, C-H Chianti, right? C-I, ciao. But then I realized, I did some shopping Wednesday night. I got a few things. You'll see it on the board. Not planning it for this. I just grabbed an impulse buy and then I was like, wait a second. What else do I have in the freezer? Let's head over to the Marble. Let's talk about this. Come on, let's do it. Come on, let's do it. So, I don't know if you remember, a few weeks ago we did the tomato sandwich and I was talking about the Tony Bourdain book. And I mentioned his chapter on sandwiches, sausage and peppers. And I said, ooh, we might have to do it. Now, I wasn't planning this, but I had in the freezer this Italian parsley, cheese, and garlic sausage. Perfect for this dish. And I had purchased these Italian frying peppers, which is what you want to use for sausage and peppers. I got 3 of them last night. And I always try to get the array of ripening. See, the green, then they go orange, same peppers, then they get red. Just for a visual thing. A couple onions. Then these are my peppers that I just picked. One's like a banana and a cherry. And those will just add a little bit of heat. These are sweet. So peppers, onions, sausage. And then I like to put in a little bit of Roma tomato. That one had a little funk on the end, and I'm getting the water boiling over here to take the skins off. You see all my Romas, they're just coming in by the dozens. I'm going to use a little basil, parsley, and a little bit of oregano. Now, sausage and peppers to me is like making chili. Everybody has their own way. So this is not the recipe out of the Bourdain book. I'm just totally winging it because there's so many ways you can make it. Some people like to use tomato sauce, which is nice if you go on sausage and peppers parm. I am going to melt a little mozzarella, but I like lemon, sausage and peppers with a little tomato and a little lemon juice. So let me get this prepped up. Actually, what I'm going to do first is get the sausage on nice and low. And I don't even need oil because I'm using the cast iron. I'll start it real low and the sausage will release a little bit of its fat as it begins to cook. And what I like to do is use this screen. Fat's going to come out, although I'm doing it real low. And then the double. And this was a bonus. I got this at the transfer station. I went to drop off a bunch of furniture and that was in the freebie pile. I saw it and I was like, that's the size of my cast iron. So we'll let the sausage start on a very low flame while I get everything prepped up. But I will show you a little bit of the prep. Let me just get this phone up in the tripod. Alright, as I was prepping, I noticed for the amount of onion I have and the amount of sausage, this was going to be way too much pepper. So I'm going to put the green one aside. That'll be great over the holiday weekend with peppers and eggs. So I did want to show you what I do here though. I cut the top off first, and then I scoop this seed pod out. And actually, I'm saving the seeds from this. Next year I'll grow some nice cubanos, alright? So I'll deal with those. There's a whole method to soaking those and fermenting them and drying them and saving them. That's for another time. So then what I do is I go down the long way on these. Now again, I told you, there's a million ways to do sausage and peppers. Everybody has their own. but I prefer sort of a lengthy, thin julienne type of pepper. Like that. So that's what I'm doing with these. And I think I decided I'm not even going to use the cherry pepper. I may do the banana. Let's see how spicy that is. Oh, it's actually nice and mild. So I'll throw that in as well. But a nice thin julienne. And also one thing I didn't mention, I will use a clove or two of garlic. So I'll finish prepping. The sausage is going. And then we'll get over to the stove. Let's have a look at our sausage here. We are going to cut it into little drums. I like to start it on here and get it to congeal nicely so we can cut it. And it did stick a little, you can see, so I added some olive oil. And so what I like to do now, it's starting to cook, but let's throw in the onion and peppers. Those two Cubanos, Italian frying peppers, Cubanelle, I don't know, Italian frying peppers. And now I can raise the heat a little. And I did taste the cherry pepper and it had a real nice kick, so I used just about half of it. Get those going. And then what I like to do, we're going to pull the sausage out, but I like to get it up over the veg. We're going to finish cooking it once we cut it into little drums. We can get that up there now. A little bit of salt will help sweat them out, bring out the juice from those veggies. A little black pepper. And let's go with a little lemon juice. We'll use more at the end. And let's put our herbs in. Okay, I think we can remove this. It's solid enough now that we can cut it without it falling apart and oozing away. So let's put in the garlic, 2 cloves, and I've got some basil and oregano here. We'll save the parsley for later on in the cooking process. This is total just a whim on my part. You could use whatever herbs you want. You don't need herbs. Totally winging it. Oh, I almost forgot the tomatoes because they're in the sink. What I did is, we did this on an episode way back when. I put the eggs, blanched them in boiling water for just 30 seconds. Skin comes right off. And then I'll cut those in half. Apologize for not doing this on camera, but if you go back to Come On to My Kitchen, there's a whole episode where we made homemade ravioli. I strongly suggest watching that if you haven't seen it. And we did the whole marinara sauce from these Romas. And you'll see the whole thing. Blanching them, peeling them, skinning them. So I do the same julienne style cut with these. Of course, they're going to break away into nothing. They're just going to dissolve and give a beautiful flavor, sweetness. So I just did 3 of them. 3 of my ripest Romas on the counter. Take the seeds out of the middle and a little rib. So it's just San Marzano Roma tomato, the absolute red flesh. Beautiful tomatoes. Made sauce with them last weekend. And one more. Oh, this is going to be so good. And this little half here. This was the one that I had to cut some of the stem right away. But we got some nice tomato out of it. Alright, there we go. Roma tomato. Let's give everything a good mix. Little Chianti can't hurt anybody, can it? And let's pop the cover back on that and just let that simmer down while I slice up the sausage. Alright, so what I'm going to do here, very simple. Just, I'd say about 3/4 of an inch. Little drums. It is not cooked fully through. You can see a little pink. I just wanted to cook it like that so it's solid enough to cut without everything coming out. And then we're going to toss them back in. The onions and peppers are going nicely at a medium to low heat. I like to cook this slowly, and I like to cook it for a while. I love those soft peppers when they get all tender, the onion. So let's get these back in and let everything cook together. I can't even describe the smell in this kitchen right now. It's actually a little higher than I prefer. Lower the heat a little. Back in with the sausage. Now we're just going to let this simmer down. I'm even going to lower it a little. Put the cover on. But let's taste our pepper and onion just to get an idea on the seasoning. Salt, lemon juice, etc. Ooh, hot. There it is. Just a little piece of onion and frying pepper. The secret to this for me has always been the lemon juice. I'll go with a little black pepper. That is phenomenal. So let me just pop the cover on. Got a few things I can do outside, close up the chicken run, etc. And I'll see you back here at the stove. And it's just about go time here. I gave this a quality control. It's phenomenal. But let's finish it up. Let's put the parsley in now, and I added a little more oregano and another basil leaf or two. I told you about my run-in with the chef in Venice, Italy many years ago. Don't bake the parsley. So we put that in at the end. But also I've talked about, we cooked the oregano and basil in, but now we want a little fresh at the end for the contrast. And let's get the rest of this lemon juice in there for that acid top note at the end. If you haven't had sausage and peppers with fresh squeezed lemon, I highly urge you to do so. Alright, I sliced up my little baguette. I'm going with a small sandwich tonight. Tomorrow comes the holiday weekend. Well, for you guys it is. Happy Memorial Day tomorrow, but this is Thursday night. So I'm going to put this in the Breville, get a little toast on it. I won't drag you guys over there. I'll just see you when I get back with it. Oh baby, nice little toast on that home-baked baguette. Let's get some sausage and peppers on there. And I am gonna, no need to even put it under the broiler. I sliced up some mozzarella. It should melt right on there. Alright, I'm gonna bring this over to the board, plate it up a little, garnish it up a little. See you over there. Alrighty, mozzarella's starting to melt in. Let's go with a little grated cheese. And I hope you all have something like this in your kitchen. By something like this, I don't mean this grater. I mean, that was my mother's. Before that, it was my grandmother's. I hope you guys have things that pass down like that. All right, let me give this a try. Okay, I know I usually do the taste before I come up here for this frame, but this one's a little bit unwieldy. So I had to get a grip on it. So here we are. Wow. Summertime's over. Those county fairs got nothing on me. Chianti, nothing better with this sandwich. Saluti. I'll see you for the next episode.
Come on, let's do it.
Gee, I wonder what I'm having for lunch at work tomorrow.